Is Russia moving towards a gold standard?
So is Russia moving to a gold standard? That's the big question that's being discussed right now. Now, in recent months, we've discussed this on this channel. Did this video, gold-backed cryptocurrency. I've talked a lot about Zoltan and how the monetary regime is shifting, and that, countries are now going to look at their FX reserves and hold more gold and commodities rather than US treasuries. And we've discussed exactly that, how both Russia and China have been accumulating a lot of gold, and perhaps for this exact situation. Now, as I said, there was a lot of talk. Were the Kremlin discussing an idea to peg the ruble rate to gold? There was some saying no, the sources say that wasn't discussed. And so there was this debate going back and forth. However, here you see Reuters, Kremlin says idea to peg ruble rate gold prices is being discussed. Kremlin on Friday said that the idea of pegging the ruble rate to gold prices was under discussion, but did not provide any further details. So Russia's been looking for ways to respond to unprecedented sanctions imposed against Moscow since the Ukraine situation has happened in recent months. But I wanted to share with you guys this. So Russia moving closer to a gold standard, official says. So Moscow is working on linking the price of the ruble to bullion and other commodities, Security Council says. Russian experts are working on a project to create a two-loop monetary and financial system in the country. Secretary of the Security Council, Nikolai Patrushev, said on Tuesday in an interview with Rossiyskaya Gazeta. I need to work on my Russian, sorry folks. He explained that the project involves the provision of the Russian currency with both gold and a range of goods representing a currency value. As a result, the ruble exchange rate would correspond to its real purchasing power parity, he said. To ensure the sovereignty of any national financial system, it is necessary that its means of payment have intrinsic value and price stability and is not tied to the dollar, Patrushev said. I think my Russian's getting better. Another important condition for Russian economic security is the restructuring of its economy based on modern technologies, he added. We are not against a market economy, but the West allows other countries to be its partner only when it is beneficial for it, Patrushev stressed. I was focusing too much on that Russian name. Noting that Russia's development should be based on its internal potential. Earlier this month, the Bank of Russia announced a fixed price for buying gold with rubles, set a price of 5,000 rubles for a gram of gold. Security Secretary also stressed that Washington was trying to solve its problems at the expense of the rest of the world, thereby creating a human-induced global crisis, and its European allies would be the first to suffer from those actions, Patrushev said. Mate, I'm a genius in Russian now. How good am I pronouncing these words? Names, not words. While the White House is discussing a possible default by Russia, the situation is such that it's time for them to declare their own default, Patrushev said, pointing out that the US external debt has exceeded $30 trillion. Okay, so are Russia moving to a gold standard? Well, not a classical gold standard where you can redeem your ruble for gold. I don't see that happening. So it's not going to be a typical gold standard where, as a typical Russian citizen, you can go down to the bank and exchange your ruble for some physical gold. I'd be very surprised if they do that. However, I still think for us sound money advocates, this is definitely a step in the right direction, away from, fiat currency backed by absolutely nothing. And at least in this way, that the currency, could be more stabilized. I guess we'll see. I guess time will tell and how this really plays out. But I think one thing that we are seeing, and Zoltan has been talking about this quite a lot, and you know, Zoltan was always Mr. Eurodollar man, that the dollar is king. But yeah, and the dollar certainly had a good run, you know, recently. But you know, it's going to be interesting to watch. But I think Zoltan talks about the monetary system changing. Countries have, you know, they've been de-dollarizing for a while, especially countries like Russia, and moving to neutral assets. I think now with the sanctions, it's shown other countries that actually maybe we don't want counterparty risk, and maybe we want to hold more FX reserves in assets that don't have any counterparty risk. And Zoltan even said this: the only real asset that central banks can own that don't have counterparty risk is gold. And so I would expect in the months and years ahead that central banks are going to be buying a lot more gold and a lot less US treasuries. So, you know, but this might take a little bit of time to play out. You know, nothing happens overnight. But when you see these regime shifts, for me, I like to position early and then sit and wait. And yeah, I think we're seeing something. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be the classical gold standard where you take your ruble into a bank and exchange it for physical gold. I could be wrong, but what do you guys think? Love to see your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you like this little video, please hit that like button. Really do appreciate it. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all again on another episode of Finance Uncut.